Hello, BookTube. Let's try the New Year Same Old Me book tag again. This tag was created by James Rucala, inspired by the New Year New Me book tag created by Kevin Towell Reads, and I'm drawing on the version done by Hannah of Hannah's Books. So I have links to all three channels in the show notes down below. So, for most of 2025 so far, I have been embarking on a rather long library tour. And once I completed classics, canonical, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama, I decided to take a few days from the tour to catch up on some tags and some haul videos. Unfortunately, this tag has given me quite a bit of problems, which is why there was no videos yesterday. But I'm going to give it another go. Now, one thing I need to sort of lay out as a caveat before I begin is that I don't really plan out my reading all that well. I have gotten in the habit of building an unwieldy monthly reading plan that on camera I will whittle down to something a bit more manageable. Not by much, but it's still manageable. And usually that plan does not pan out, nor really does my participation in BookTube events. This video will also probably include quite a bit of self-excoriating ranting because this is the same old me book tag. And there are some things about my reading life that I find highly annoying and I would like to find a workaround. But in 2025 I seem to be somewhat in the same boat that I've been for a number of years now. Anyway, so let's get going on to the prompts themselves. Prompt number 1, regrets. What is one book from your 2024 reading goals that you regret reading or that haunts you? For this prompt, I'm going to go with the collected poems of C.B. Cavafy by C.B. Cavafy. It's not so much that I regret having reread the book, which I did for a BookTube event that in 2024 is in abeyance called Remember December. Remember December first started in 2023, created by Bookends and Books, and I think Skeletandling About the Books. I think they are the two creators. And so the regret I have for rereading the collected poems of C.B. Cavafy is that I read or reread the collection after I read volume 30 of Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima. My reaction to volume 30 of Eden Zero was otherworldly. It was magical. I had so much fun with that volume. I mean, I was a quivering mess. I was transported. It was just what you want as a reading experience, sort of that ideal reading experience. It was that and so much more. And as I read the collected poems of C.B. Cavafy, I realized this doesn't compare. It simply does not compare. I like C.B. Cavafy's work, but it's not Eden Zero Volume 30 and so many other volumes of manga that I've read over the last few years once I got back into manga. And that got me into something of a funk for much of December and a lot of introspection of trying to figure out, because I realized that, in a very real way, as much as I enjoy poetry, particularly contemporary poetry, my reading experience of it is I like it. I mean, I like it, but it's not that sort of magical experience that I get with manga. And that's to say nothing of the other two genres in fiction, poetry, and drama, which again, particularly from this shelf, that if I manage to finish it, which for the most part it's a bail, I like it, but just liking it or that accomplishment of having finished it, it just that feeling just does not compare. And really, why do I keep coming back to it? And I've been trying to figure out that angle of it. Is it, well, the corner of BookTip that I'm on is more geared towards classic fiction and modern and contemporary literary fiction? Is it some inborn literary snobbery that I can't wean myself off of or rip myself away from? But there is that contradiction that I've been struggling with for years now, where I recognize what enjoyment I get from this part of my library is does not compare to the joy I have gotten from manga, from history during its period, that I haven't really been super engaged in enjoying it for, well, almost 20 years now. But there is a part of me that still argue that still it should be a more prominent part of my collection, that I should privilege reading it, and it just that contradiction drives me up a wall, and I don't know how to handle it or how to deal with it. So that's what's been plaguing me, because even though I came to this realization, even though I was determined not to break free from this, I'm still very much stuck in this pattern. The one positive is that I have decided in 2025 to prioritize my manga reading over everything else. So everything else is going to have to take a backseat to manga. So at least there's that positive, but still haven't quite figured out what to do with the other part. Moving on to prompt number 2, penitence. What is the one book on your 2024 reading goals that you feel guilty for not reading? I'm going to go with a bail here, and that is The Fall of Egypt and the Rise of Rome by Guy de la Baudelaire. This is a history about the Ptolemaic Egypt and its eventual conquest by Rome. Now, I had to go at it shortly after it came out and bailed on it. And I've been toying with giving it a bail redemption for months now. In addition to Remember December, there is another BookTip event in December. I don't remember what MJ of Reading This Life called it, but I've come to associate December with giving second chances to books that I have bailed on, which I call bail redemptions. So I'd initially thought about giving a bail redemption to The Fall of Egypt and the Rise of Rome in December, and then decided against it. And so I'm kind of toying with a bail redemption sometime in um, 2025 as part of quarter one of Historathon, which is a book to event created by Vin of Revenant Reads. And the problem is that there's another book that's about Ptolemaic Egypt, which I'm blanking on the title now, but it's by Toby Wilkinson, and it's coming out in April. And I'm thinking about picking that up too. So I don't really want to read two books about Ptolemaic Egypt in the same year, because that might be a bit too much. Because I did end up having a few incidences last year, particularly with the Fall of Egypt and the Rise of Rome, where I'd read another book on Alexander. The first few chapters of the Fall of Egypt and the Rise of Rome is about Alexander. And so that kind of bugged me because the other book was much better. So I don't quite know what to do about that. Prompt number 3, The Albatross. Are there any books you had on your 2024 TBR that you are glad to say you won't read in 2025? I don't think so. Well, oh yeah. Okay. So, this is one of those fudge answers. So, in 2024, I think I wanted to have a last dance with Alan Hollinghurst, by which I mean reading the 6 novels that Alan Hollinghurst has published up to Our Evenings, which was published late last year. I dropped that project idea after bailing on The Swimming Pool Library, Alan Hollinghurst's first novel. And I should have left well enough alone and said, okay, I'm done with Alan Hollinghurst. That last dance was poop. And no more. He's gone from my collection at the next time I do a book purge. And needless to say, in 2025, there is yet again a last dance with Alan Hollinghurst, which is once again stopping at the Swimming Pool Library. Expect a rant on this tomorrow with Weekly Reads. Although I will talk about the manga I read first instead of waiting till last. So I'm going to be pretty much done with Alan Hollinghurst after this. So I won't be adding Our Evenings. Now, let's see how long I keep to that. Prompt number 5, Lying Fallow. What is one author or genre that you're taking a break from in 2025? I should really say Alan Hollinghurst, but it'll be Percival Everett. I have tried in 2023, was it 2022, The Trees, and didn't like it. And then I bailed on in 2024, Erasure and Telephone. And so while I've heard a lot of great things, a lot of praise for James, his retelling of a part of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, I think really 3 strikes and you're out should be operating here. Not that I necessarily always follow it, but I really should. Prompt number 6, The Scapegoat. Are there any formerly favorite authors that you're not going to read in 2025? Well, not really. I don't think there's anything that I have. Nothing's coming to mind here. So I'm going to skip this one. Prompt number 7, stay the course. Is there a series that you started last year that you might complete this year? Now, this one I'm going to play with a little bit. So there are three of the manga series that I'm currently following. Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Okutami, Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima, and My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi all completed their runs last year. And in Japan, their final volumes were released by the end of the year. I'm fully expecting that the final volumes of all three series will be coming out at least by December. Hopefully before December, so I can pretty much finish off reading the series in December, so that in 2026 I will read all of all three series in completion in a week or two's reading, because I've really come to enjoy that, and I'm really looking forward to rereading all of Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, and Eden Zero. So, my answer for that one. Prompt number 8, breaking walls. Do you have a non-book related goal for 2025 you wish to share? Well, I've mentioned wanting to try more new recipes, and I think I'll stick with that. And otherwise, I don't think I have any other goals so far. And of course, the 9th prompt is to tag people. This tag has been around for a few weeks now, but if you would still like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. Anyway, BookTube, that was the New Year Same Old Me tag. And yep, still same old me. So anyway, BookTube, I will be back shortly with an update to my 2025 library tour plans. So until then, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe.